Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma of My Psychic One. I'm going to do your Taurus reading for December 28th through January. I'm sorry, I meant to say Gemini. Gemini, December 28th through January 3rd. So let's take a look and see what Gemini has going on. Happy New Year to you. I know we just had Christmas and our solar eclipse with the new moon. So we have new moon energy going. So whatever you're planning for New Year's and for 2020, that's on our brains. New moon manifestations. Let's take a look and see what's going on for you, Gemini. Knight of Wands, Three of Cups. You got some celebration coming up. Page of Coins, some investments, Queen of Wands. So if you're starting to take on some leadership a little bit with work, seeing that you are unsure quite what you want to do and whether you want to be nurturing, or I see you taking on some newer tasks. Eight of Coins, you might be doing a little bit more work than you're paid for lately, or laying some groundwork for your projects, etc. I do see the Queen of Cups. That has to do with emotions. Ace of Swords, some big decisions are being made in the next little bit. Over the last period, you found yourself to be a little bit emotional and a little bit impulsive with your emotions, like overwhelming emotions that kind of take you over. The Hermit card's been a big player in a lot of our readings today, of all six actually. And the Hermit's referencing you taking your own counsel, maybe withdrawing a little bit so you can think clearly. Because emotional overwhelm can really knock our needs out, especially if we're not ready for it. Ace of Wands, again, that goes with the Knight of Wands and the Queen of Wands. It feels as if you've got all the material necessary to accomplish what you need to do. It's just maybe something you haven't done before, or you're not quite sure how to proceed. I do see the Nine of Cups, which is like a celebration. The Three of Swords, my God, are we coming up on Mercury retrograde already? It's something I'm going to have to look into, because the Three of Swords has been popping up all over the place. I know I was very happy that we didn't have Mercury retrograde during the holiday season this year like we did last year. But we do have the Ten of Wands. So if you're feeling a little anxiety and overwhelm, you're taking on a little bit. This does feel emotional. Lover's card has showed up for everybody's reading today too. And then I do have the Ten of Cups. What that tells me is, even though you've been feeling out of whack, we have the Hermit card, where you're feeling isolated, or you're actually just feeling like it's time for you to do some inward thinking, etc. We have the Ten of Cups, which is all about balance. Ten of Cups and the Lover's card, which means internal balance and external balance. So we're seeing that this is all coming together. If you're feeling pressure, the anxiety card is popping up, where you're feeling a little bit out of whack with your emotions and you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed. I do see the Ace of Cups though, which tells me Ace of Cups, Lover's card, and the Ten of Cups, balance is coming in, and also the Nine of Cups. So even though you're feeling overwhelmed, you're feeling as if you've got too much on your plate and a lot of stimuli coming in from all over the place, and feeling a little isolated, you do have a lot of emotions coming through you right now, to where you will find some balance right after the new year. The Ten of Cups is right here. Stop struggling. Remember what I say all the time, the more you struggle, the harder things can be. Now you can choose to float, or you can choose to kick and scream, right? So it's happening regardless of how you behave. Let's take a look at the Mystic Dreamer deck. See how your relationship is showing up for you. This is your relationship portion for Gemini. All right, Gemini, here goes. High Priestess. So here's another thing too. When you have the Eight of Wands, the Eight of Wands is all about overwhelm. It's about anxiety. For those of you that are empaths, the High Priestess is the first thing that shows up. And as you're playing with the High Priestess, the thing I talk about with meditation is, if you don't know your own voice, how do you know what your influences are that are coming in from an external source? So we have the High Priestess. Tells me your intuition's firing, which is not unlikely that it is. The Nine of Wands, maybe you're a little fatigued and overtired. The Three of Pentacles, internet. The Emperor. So the Emperor has been showing up in everybody's reading too, and that's all about leadership. I do again see the Seven of Cups, which is overwhelm, and the Queen of Cups again for you. And just remember, the Wheel of Fortune is taking its role in your life right now, and that's all about being you right exactly where you're supposed to be. I do have the Ace of Swords, the Fool card, which is all about opportunity. You're going to find yourself at a crossroads, definitely feeling as if you don't want to be the first one to put your energy out there. And as you're sitting here playing with opportunity and crossroads, Sometimes you pull back and you're a little trigger shy as far as going forward with decision making because you're afraid that you're going to make a wrong choice. We do see Ace of Wands, so it is decision making time for you in moving forward. We also see some Six of Wands, which is victory. The Queen of Cups is emotional. So it may not be a bad idea for you to reveal your feelings because you've been a little isolated and kind of keeping your emotions close to the chest. That's not a bad thing, but people don't know how to proceed with you if they don't know what's going on. So Queen of Cups, emotional. The Fool card, which is crossroads, opportunity, and decision making. The Fool card isn't even about what decisions you're making. It's about that moment of opportunity, that moment of creativity, that moment of what I'm going to do next, right? So that's pretty exciting. I do see you walking away from some things that don't serve you though, because right here with the Eight of Cups, that's you like saying, this isn't good for me. I'm going to leave it behind no matter what the outcome is. Okay. Don't go into isolation again. I feel like you've got that in your head that you'll just shut down and ignore everything. So don't ignore your emotions. You got to talk about it and move through them in order for them to process and come out. You know, it festers. So don't hold tight to your emotions. Let them flow. And it's okay completely to feel those, the fear of being vulnerable, the fear of being the first one to put yourself out there. You're kind of tired of spinning your wheels a little bit with people because you're looking back at all the mistakes that you've made in the past. Let's pull a card from Divination of the Ancients for you, dear Gemini, and see what your message is. If you want a one-on-one with me, karmaondeck.com, or you can find me on My Psychic One. Aura, observation. So I'm feeling like this is a big theme for you, is sitting back and watching. Ooh, I like that one. Okay, observation. So your card for the day, wake up to what's really going on around you. So take a good long look at yourself and at others, for all is not what you have painted in your mind. There are underlying reasons for certain people in your life acting as though they have your best interest at heart, although they're actually not always sweetless and light. And here's the thing, you know, I've heard people say that comment before, someone may not have your best interest at heart. And I do want to say this one thing though. Most people don't generally go and have this I'm out to get you kind of mentality. You got to understand, most people are so, like, you get up in the morning, the very first thing you do is don't jump on your phone or your altar or your internet and jump out there to see what you can do to other people. 90% of the time, our needs are what comes first. I wake up, I gotta pee. I wake up, I gotta eat. I wake up, I gotta shower, use the restroom. Whatever little things that pop up initially is the first thing I've got to take care of. 90% of the time, people are so focused on their own needs, they're not outward focused enough. And secondly, they're likely not out to get you. Most of the time, if that's the mentality that you have, they may be cutting you out of their way. But in general, it takes a whole lot of energy for someone to be that outward focused. But anyways, there are underlying reasons for certain people in your life acting as though they have your best interest at heart, although they are actually not always sweetness and light. This wake-up call serves you very well and asks you to look at areas of your life where you could improve things, decision-making time. Deepen investigation into situations you have previously skimmed over. Become the observer, watch and learn. Notice every detail in a person's mannerisms and energy, and soon you will be able to determine the bigger picture in all that you witness. Observe well, and the subtle truth will emanate clearly for you to determine. And maybe that's your Hermit card. Maybe it's time for you to take a step back from interacting with others enough to take a good long look. You know, shoot your shot, say what you have to say, and sit back and watch. So your incantation says, as I take a look around, things aren't quite what I once found. The veil is lifted, eyes are bright, observing all with my new sight. So it's here. There's another message here that says, always ask the question, is this for my highest good? You'll witness something important. So be sure to ask those questions. And like I said, meditation's the key. If you don't know what your own voice sounds like, you're going to have a hard time listening to your own counsel or even know what it is. But anyways, guys, Happy New Year. Thanks for joining me. Subscribe, like, and share, and let me know what you thought of your reading. Otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Catch me on the live.